So we can look at the Earth as part of kind of a system of spheres. So for instance, we said that the Earth's atmosphere is a relatively thin envelope of gases and suspended solids and liquids that are hanging over the Earth's surface due to the force of gravity. That's called the atmosphere. We could talk about the Earth's geosphere as being, I can stomp my feet, as being the thing we're standing on. Okay, the rocky part, that's the Earth's geosphere. We could think of the Earth's hydrosphere, and then that would be any sort of water, whether water is a liquid, whether water is a solid, whether water is a gas, all water molecules as they are in either the atmosphere or the geosphere. That's the hydrosphere. And then we could talk about the biosphere. So the biosphere, and life is an amazing thing, but the biosphere is anything that has life. So obviously we have life that flies through the atmosphere. We have life associated with underground, kind of burrowed within the geosphere. We have life everywhere. So that's the biosphere. And isn't this pretty? What you're looking at here is a view from the moon. So actually this is the moon. I got my new little pen and tablet here, and the sun is over here, and the sun is shining on the Earth, and we are seeing the Earth lit up. And of course this is the part of the Earth that is on the other side of the sun. This would be the nighttime side of the Earth. But that is so very pretty, I think. So those four, and there are probably other ways to break up kind of our Earth system, but those four different spheres interact with each other. So for instance, the interactions we see here, we see the geosphere, the rocky geosphere. We see the liquid, this looks like an ocean, part of the hydrosphere. And actually can you kind of see kind of spray, maybe ocean spray that's going up into the atmosphere. So actually there are three spheres interacting here. With regard to our hydrosphere, and we're going to talk, obviously we need to talk about the hydrological cycle. We need to talk about the water cycle, the whole precipitation, evaporation, then condensation, and then precipitation, the water cycle. But the hydrosphere, the distribution of Earth's water, this just totally amazes me. So for instance, you see up here, of all of the water molecules that are associated with the Earth, 97.2 of the water molecules are in the Earth's oceans. Of that remaining 2.8%, here's kind of a breakdown, 2.15% of all of the water in the Earth's hydrosphere is tied up in glaciers. That's pretty cool. And then 0.62 is kind of underground. So there's a pretty picture of, looks like a glacier, that part of the glacier is breaking off. And this would be kind of showing you water coming, underground water coming out, groundwater coming out. And then the remaining fraction is broken up like this. So only 0.009% of all of Earth's water are in our lakes. And then this percent gets smaller. You can see even a smaller fraction is in saltwater lakes, in inland seas. A fraction is tied up in the Earth's soil, and even a smaller fraction of the overall water associated with the Earth is in the Earth's atmosphere. And then a small part is in the Earth's streams. So I just think that's amazing. So what you're looking at here is, this is the geosphere, and this is the atmosphere. And I know it looks like the atmosphere is pretty darn thick, but it's not. The atmosphere that holds the gases and suspended solids and liquids because of gravity to our Earth's geosphere. So we're going to talk about layers of the Earth's atmosphere, and this kind of, I don't know if you can see, there's a pinkish layer closest to the Earth's surface. That is kind of the boundary of our first layer of Earth's surface, called the troposphere. And then above the troposphere is the stratosphere, followed by the mesosphere, followed by, we're going to call it the thermosphere. And most clouds, quite honestly, I'd say around here, maybe 98% of the clouds that you see are located in the troposphere. But here's a very fancy type of cloud. It's called a Noctilucent Cloud, and it's located in the stratosphere. I think it's stratosphere, not mesosphere. So let's just look a little bit more about how those four spheres of the Earth system kind of interact. I mean, this one you definitely see the fish, biosphere, right? You see the coral. Coral is a type of animal as well, isn't it? But all interacting in our oceans, be part of the hydrosphere. Of course, there's got to be kind of the geosphere to kind of support all that. Here we have a forest, life in the forest, biosphere. Of course, that plant life needs to interact with the geosphere to grow. It gets its nutrients from the geosphere, and of course, it kind of the atmosphere is involved here too. This is a picture of a mudslide, and kind of, you have to look closely, but these little things down here, these are houses, okay? So this is a honkin' big mudslide. And so what is a mudslide? Well, mudslide was usually triggered by some sort of precipitation event. Looks like it might have been delayed here because it looks like I see kind of the sun casting shadows. But definitely we have water involved in a mudslide. The mud itself, geosphere, and actually in this case, if it's not too much of a stretch to see how actually it's going to impact the biosphere. So, Mount St. Helens eruption. So when a volcano like this erupts, it is, the volcano itself is part of the geosphere. It erupts and it spews suspended solids or aerosols in the Earth's atmosphere, and so there's that sort of interaction. It can affect life and that sort of thing. So they definitely have interaction between all these spheres.